The Rams must stop this if they want to beat the Panthers during Wild Card Weekend, as well as some more keys to victory and an updated injury report after this week's practices heading into the game against the Panthers on Saturday. All that and more in this episode of Rams Digest. Before we get into all the news today, this video is brought to you by Kalshi. When you use the link below to download Kalshi and enter code DigestNFL, you'll get $20 when you trade your first 100. Kalshi is the largest prediction market in the US, and on that platform you can trade yes or no on real-life events including sports, elections, news, and pretty much everything. And whether you're in California, Texas, or any other state, Kalshi is live in all 50 states. And for sports fans, trade on game outcomes, playoff chances, or player performances, all on a regulated market where you can cash out at any time. And for Rams and football fans, there's so much to trade on Kalshi. Starting off with game odds, where the Rams are heavy favorites over the Panthers, I have the Rams coming out on top. As well as point spreads and over-unders in college football, I have Indiana winning by over 3.5 points against Oregon, but under 49.5 points will be scored in the game. As well as player props on touchdowns and yards, I have both Puka Nacua and Rico Dowdle scoring a touchdown at some point during the Rams-Panthers game. As well as award odds for MVP, you already know I got my boy Matthew Stafford. In futures like who will play in the Super Bowl this season, I have the Rams and Jaguars. Now remember to download Kalshi using the link below in the description and enter code DigestNFL to get $20 when you trade your first 100. Thank you once again to Kalshi for sponsoring this video. Now let's get back to the news. Welcome back to another episode of Rams Digest. I'm your host, Joshua Finehirsh. And before we get into today's video, make sure to like this video right now for Wildcard Weekend getting started on Saturday. Rams Panthers, like this video as well for the stream coming up on Saturday around 1:20 p.m. Pacific time. I'm going to try our best to be on early so we can go over some of our playoff predictions as a whole and do a bit more pregame. So make sure to stay tuned for that. But we got a lot to get into today, starting with what the Rams have to stop and some keys to victory heading into the playoffs and Wild Card Weekend. I like this video as well if you want the Rams to win this week and win the Super Bowl. But now I have to get into some keys to victory from Rams Wire that we're going to get into right now. They got to get an early lead. There are two big benefits to going up early on the Panthers. One, you take the crowd out of it. Two, Carolina isn't built to play from behind. When it comes to eliminating the Panthers' home field advantage, the best way to do that is by going up a couple scores early. This is the Panthers' first playoff appearance since 2017 and the first time they've even sniffed the postseason since Cam Newton was the quarterback. You can bet their fans will be fired up and ready to go on Saturday. The Rams can take the air out of the building and make operating on offense easier by scoring early and often. Oh, I fully agree. I do think the Rams need to score early here in this game and not have the early turnovers that they had the last time they played the Panthers, and they can't get off to a slow start like they did against Atlanta, which is another lesser team in a road crowd as well in a more weather-neutral stadium, and in fact more weather-neutral stadium with no weather conditions due to the roof there. So yeah, for the Rams, you got to get out to a lead early. I 100% agree. Secondly, the Panthers are a team built to play with the lead. They want to run the ball and maintain possession, playing keep away from their opponent. That's exactly what they did in Week 13, when just about every first down play was a run and they had a total of 35 rush attempts with their running backs. If the Rams take a 2-score lead, which they never did in their first meeting, they can force Bryce Young to beat them. Yeah, that's what you have to do. We've seen Bryce Young make some key throws in fourth quarters. He was able to do that against us, but it was mainly the run game that has propelled the Panthers to this point so far for them in their season, which has led them into a playoff berth. But I do believe the Rams are going to get off to a better start. I think the return of Devonta Adams on offense is really going to help out the offense, especially in the red zone. They can really kind of save him for red zone packages in the first half, and then if it's still a close game off the second half, he can unleash him a little bit more in my eyes. But in my eyes, needs to be a part of the red zone package for sure, just to start out with. Secondly, you cannot be afraid to blitz Bryce Young. The Rams don't blitz often, finishing the regular season with the second lowest blitz rate of any team in the NFL at just 17.7%. This might be a week to consider blitzing more though. According to Pro Football Focus, Young is ranked 30th among all quarterbacks with a passing grade of 63 when blitzed this year, throwing 9 touchdown passes and 4 interceptions. His 6 turnover-worthy plays when blitzed were the 11th most at the position, so he's susceptible to being rattled and making bad decisions under pressure. Again, I fully agree. Robert Hunt's going to be out for this game, one of their starting guards, so that is going to be a big loss for this Panthers offensive line for sure heading into the playoff game for them. So that should make this pass rush for the Rams a lot better. They looked great against the Cardinals. Again, it's the Cardinals, so we got to take that with a grain of salt. But it was nice to see the pass rush back to what it was. Josiah Stewart getting there. Desjuan Johnson had 2 sacks. We'd like to see some of him this week because I think he was a very big part of the Rams' win over the Cardinals. Byron Young, Jared Verse getting back there. Braden Fisk even got back there. He's had a down and injury-riddled season, but this playoff run is a chance for him to get kind of back on track. So I can see Chris Shula. He's trying to coach for a head coaching job. Yes, he's focused on the Rams, but at the same time, he knows, the Rams know, he's on the market for head coaching jobs potentially, and putting together a nice playoff run would not only help the Rams, but also help him. So he does have some more selfish-ish reasons, but most importantly, he is focused on the Rams, and I do think them blitzing is a good strategy against the Panthers. And blitzing Young didn't work in Week 13 as he completed 5 of 6 passes for 78 yards and 2 touchdowns, but both of those scores came on 4th down. Nate Landman is a good blitzer, as is Quentin Lake. Chris Shula shouldn't hesitate to send extra rushers at the young QB. Yeah, I agree. I think Quentin Lake is going to be served more as a blitzer than Landman will, because I think we're going to need Landman a lot more in terms of stopping the run game, whereas Quentin Lake's a guy, he's going to be back in coverage, he'll play inside linebacker, he'll come out and blitz. I just think Quentin Lake's going to be the guy used there more than Nate Landman. And as I just mentioned, you got to shut down the run game. This sounds so rudimentary and basic, but it's absolutely true. The Panthers' run game is the primary reason they beat the Rams in Week 13. It's not even that they broke off a long run, it's that they consistently picked up 4 to 5 yards and stayed in manageable down and distances. That helped them go 7 for 15 on 3rd down and 3 for 3 on 4th down. The Panthers were particularly good running between tackles, gaining 93 yards on 23 carries to the inside. It was almost demoralizing for the Rams defense to see the way Carolina was winning the line of scrimmage and creating running lanes inside for its running backs. Poona Ford wasn't fully healthy that game, which hurt the Rams, but the D-line as a whole did not play well. No, they didn't. The Rams as a whole, in that game, we can keep on saying it, just did not look good. And I have some stats for you here from the last time these two teams played in that Week 13 matchup. And obviously, Chuba Hubbard actually led the team in rushing. He had a bit of a down year, but 17 carries, 83 yards, 4.9 average yards per carry. Rico Dowdle, 18 for 58, 3.2. So Rico Dowdle was actually not quite as much of a threat. Dowdle, 2 catches for 21 yards. Hubbard, 2 for 41 and a touchdown. Bryce Young actually was making a lot of key throws in that game, but they did end up averaging 4.1 yards per carry on the day for the game. They had 164 total rushing yards in that one. They actually only outrushed the Rams by 12. That was actually a very good Blake Corum game. Kyren had a good game. Both of them had touchdowns. So the Rams were able to run on the Panthers, but if you can't stop the Panthers' run game, you're not going to be able to win this game. Because again, a guy like Rico Dowdle, playing for a new contract, only signed a 1-year deal. He has other motivations too besides the team, which help him and the team, because I think the Panthers should re-sign him. But when players are playing for contracts, you know they always try hard, but they're going to try extra hard in a contract year / game, because this could be the final game of the regular season for either, not regular season, of the season as a whole for any team. So the Rams got to be extra careful about Rico Dowdle today, or on Saturday, I should say. And the Rams must stop the run and force Young to beat them throwing the ball. Shula should expect first down runs by Carolina, but if the Rams can't force negative plays or short gains, the Panthers are going to keep running it time after time. Yeah, they are. Again, Bryce Young was 15 for 20, 206 yards. He had 3 passing touchdowns, averaged 10 yards per throw. He had 194 net yards if we're considering sacks there. But yeah, again, because the run game was going, they were able to get the pass game going. It wasn't even Tet McMillan. It was Jalen Coker last time, who had 4 for 74 and a touchdown. Tet had the one long touchdown catch. We know Tet McMillan's one of the best young receivers in the league. He has a very, very bright future. California guy, so it's nice to see him succeed, but let's not have that happen this week. But yeah, again, for the Panthers, the Rams gotta stop this run game for them if they're going to win. Nate Landman's gonna have to be key. That's why he's the thumbnail of this video, because again, those missed tackles he's been having the last few weeks, he looked better against the Cardinals, but again, it's also the Cardinals. He still had that one play on Michael Carter where you gotta bring him down or someone's gotta help him. I also want to see awareness from other defenders, where if one guy is holding the guy for over 3 seconds, someone else come over there and help. It's like help defense in basketball. You gotta know when to help another guy out there on the defensive side of the ball in both sports. So I want to see some more awareness as well from this Rams D-line. And don't give the ball away. Again, it sounds simple, but it's one of the unquestioned keys to this game. Why? Because it's the primary reason the Rams lost to Carolina in Week 13. Matthew Stafford threw 2 interceptions, including a pick 6, and lost a fumble on the Rams' final drive. When they were in position, to try a game-tying field goal. If not for those 3 turnovers, the Rams win that game. The fumble cost them at least 3 points. The pick 6 handed Carolina 7 points, and Stafford's first pick came deep in the red zone, where it cost the offense at least 3 points. Yeah, simple as that. Can't have these takeaways. We saw what happened with the Falcons, although Stafford was much better in the second half of that game against the Falcons. Rams as a whole looked a lot better. They almost came back and won, but overall, just not. Those are the reason why I lost both of those games, especially this Panthers game where you still had chances to win it and you couldn't. Your defense, again, on some drives didn't necessarily play well. Again, when you give another team a short field, even a team like the Panthers, who's definitely the worst playoff team in the field, they're going to be able to score. And you cannot keep on giving them short fields. The interceptions, again, one of them was a great play. One of them was an awful throw. And for the fumble, it's inexcusable. Matthew Stafford cannot be losing fumbles. One of those interceptions was an inexcusable throw to Puka in double coverage. So he's got to read the field, play mistake-free football. I believe he can, and I don't think this will be an issue again. One of the few ways the Rams can lose this game is by committing careless turnovers and giving the ball away at inopportune times. If they don't throw multiple interceptions or fumble it deep in their own territory, they should win on Saturday. Yeah, I fully agree. They're the better team, although the history is not necessarily on their side. If you missed my video yesterday, go back and watch that, because I talked a lot about wildcard teams who have 4 or more wins than their home opponent. The history does not bode well for them. So it is definitely going to be an interesting type of game here, but I do believe if the Rams do what they do best, they're going to be able to win this game. Though the Panthers scored 31 points on the Rams in Week 13, this isn't a game where LA needs to score 30 to win. Without giveaways, the Panthers are unlikely to score more than 20. Yeah, I fully agree. I talked about it as well in my last video that the Panthers were one of 3 teams in the NFL to have 5 games or more of not scoring 10 points. The Panthers had 5. Only the Jets and Raiders had more, which you don't want to be on a graphic with the Jets and Raiders for anything, unless if you're on a graphic with Max Crosby for sacks. That's really the only thing you want to be on a Jets or Raiders graphic for. Besides that, you don't really want to be on either of those graphics, or a Brock Bowers receptions graphic when he's fully healthy. Besides that, not it. So I do agree. I don't see the Panthers getting more than 20 if the Rams do not give them any giveaways. And stay tuned to the end of the video where I do give my score prediction for this game. And lastly, you got to play clean on special teams. If there's one thing that can derail the Rams this postseason, it's their special teams. It's been a liability all year, costing LA multiple games already. The change from Chase Blackburn to Ben Kotwica was the first step towards fixing those issues, but can the Rams really trust Harrison Evans to make clutch kicks in the playoffs? Will the punt coverage hold up against the Panthers? Will the field goal protection unit do its job avoid allowing Carolina to block kicks? Excuse me there. The Rams can't commit costly penalties and allow big runs in the return game to set up the Panthers with short fields. Pinning Carolina deep and forcing Young to drive 75 yards is essential in this game because it's a lot to ask the Panthers to consistently go the length of the field to score points. Oh yes, I fully agree. Now Josh and I have talked about this a lot. Can you trust Harrison Evans to make a clutch kick? Because he was 0 for 2 in that Seattle game. I think it depends on the distance, really. If it's within 40 yards, I trust him, as you would most NFL kickers, as you should trust really all NFL kickers with that. But again, if it's a longer kick, then probably not. And the special teams unit already without Sean Dolak in the injury update, we got news today about some players being ruled out, unfortunately. One of them is also on the special teams unit. So you got to have your punt coverage down pat because you gave up a first down on a fake to the Cardinals. I said it in my video on Monday. The Panthers may try something like that. It's the playoffs. They're kind of playing with house money. They are a home team, but again, you're 8-9, so they're going to play with some house money. They're going to try to pull something creative on special teams for sure, and the Rams and Ben Kotwica have to be ready. And comment down below right now your thoughts on this game and what you think the biggest key to victory for the Rams is. To me, it is stopping Rico Dowdle and just not making any mistakes. I know it's so basic to say, but all 5 of the Rams' losses, they kind of lost the game for themselves. They didn't really... I mean, sure, they got outplayed by the Panthers, but you gave them that chance. You gave the Eagles game away. You gave the Seahawks game away. The Niners game away. The Falcons game, you got outplayed from the start. But you technically still gave it away because you almost came back and won that game. So there were a lot of different reasons why the Rams have lost games this year. Special teams, one of them. Turnovers, one of them. Both of those got to go away for sure. Now we got a quick little injury update to get into for the game on Saturday. This is also from Rams Wire that we're going to get into right now. And for a third week in a row, the LA Rams will be without one of their top offensive linemen. Sean McVay told reporters on Thursday that Kevin Dotson has been ruled out for Saturday's game against the Panthers. Dotson has been dealing with an ankle injury since going down in the Rams' Week 16 loss to the Seahawks, missing the last 2 games of the regular season. McVay did say Dotson is making good progress, however, which is an encouraging sign, if the Rams are able to advance in the playoffs to the divisional round. Justin Dedich has been filling in for Dotson at right guard for the last 2.5 games, and he's expected to remain at that position on Saturday as well. At least we're not going to have to see DJ Humphries in the game, because, we saw how that was against the Falcons. But Dedich has been hit or miss. He's had some nice moments this year, but he's also had some bad moments. A lot of bad moments against the Falcons. He was decent against the Cardinals, but also, it's the Cardinals. So, Justin Dedich being in there in a playoff game for starter-level snaps, I don't know. It's a little shaky. McClendon's been good filling in for Havenstein, who's still on IR, so I don't think McClendon's going to be an issue, but Justin Dedich being in there definitely can present an issue when we have the full injury report here as well. Jordan Whittington with his knee has been ruled out. This photograph was taken right before then, which Jordan Whittington has been ruled out. Another key guy on special teams, return man, blocker, someone who's very good on that side of the ball, going to be out. Kupp missing Sean Dolak and Jordan Whittington, two of them, probably the 2 best special teamers on the team as a whole. Terrence Ferguson got a limited practice today. Questionable, didn't play in the last 2. Before that, Josh Wallace as well got back for a limited practice with that ankle injury, questionable. Terrence Ferguson with that hamstring as well. Devontae full, Quentin Lake full. Darius Williams, nice to see he was back at practice today. Hopefully all that personal stuff is cleared up. And Byron Young, again, homie just needed to rest. I don't blame him, man. Hopefully he was studying some film, getting his recovery, and hopefully everyone was doing that. But especially Byron Young heading into this game, heading to the travel day most likely tomorrow down to Carolina, and then the game obviously Saturday afternoon. Comment down below right now, what are your thoughts on all of these injuries? To me, the Terrence Ferguson one is interesting because McVay was really making it seem like it was not an issue. He was going to play all week, but only getting 1 limited practice does scare me a little bit because Terrence Ferguson's a deep ball threat. Again, for the Panthers, I don't want to overlook him, but it's not. But if we do end up playing Seattle in round 2, we're definitely going to need Terrence Ferguson, or if we have to go to a team like Chicago, again, their defense isn't great, but again, you're going to have to go to Chicago, where it's going to be cold. They're going to need your offensive weapons out there. So I would like to make sure Terrence Ferguson can play. Obviously, I do think the more devastating injury of the 2 is Kevin Dotson, of the 2 players who will be out, just because Justin Dedich to Dotson is a huge downgrade to me at that O-line. Comment down below your thoughts right now. Now, my score pick for this game, I have the Rams 24, Panthers 17. I think that is how the game is going to go. It's going to be a closer game. It's the playoffs. Everyone's going to come to play, most likely. The Rams could get out on top really early. I definitely see the Rams leading the entire game, but I don't think it's going to be a blowout by any means. They were 10.5 point favorite. I think the Rams are going to win, but I do think by under 10.5 points. Those were the odds earlier in the week on Kalshi. Don't know what those updated odds are just yet, as they'll keep updating throughout the week. But comment down below right now your score prediction as well, because that is all for this episode of Rams Digest. Thank you very much for watching. Make sure to like this video right now for the stream on Saturday, 1:20 p.m. Pacific time. Josh and I are looking forward to delivering our first playoff stream as well. Leave a like right now for the playoffs starting as well this weekend for everybody. Looking forward to that. Leave a like for the Rams if you want them to win this week and win the Super Bowl. Comment down below your thoughts on the keys to the game. For me, I would say definitely stopping the run and limiting mistakes. Shouldn't have any mistakes. It's the playoffs. Those were the 2 main reasons why they lost the first time. Shouldn't happen again. Comment down below your thoughts on the injuries. To me, the Kevin Dotson and Terrence Ferguson ones are definitely interesting. Obviously, Dotson not playing, Ferguson questionable, which is a bit weird because McVay was saying he was going to play the whole week, but yet we don't know that to be for sure. Comment down below your score pick. I have 24-17 Rams. I've been your host, Joshua Finehirsh, as always. Thank you very much for watching another episode of Rams Digest. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you soon for the stream on Saturday, and have a great rest of your day.